Welcome to the Skill Locked profile, where every Skyblock year I spin a wheel and can only level one of the 5 major Skyblock skills, with the eventual goal of maxing all 5 of them. Last time we got fishing, explored the new Lotus Atoll Island, unlocked Titanoboas, and rolled Snake Eyes, one of the rarest fishing drops in the game. The 7th Skyblock year begins shortly, with the Year 500 event and raffle making this episode full of opportunity. But before we get started, we need to spin the wheel that decides our fate. Let's spin. Let's see what we get here. And the answer is... it looks like it's gonna be a farming week. And here we are for the second time out on farming week. And I've got to say, going into this, I actually have pretty high hopes for the week. I'm going to start by setting an immediate goal. I think what I want to do by the end of this Skyblock year is get to at least 100 or maybe even 150 million coins. We're also going to start by buying up a booster cookie. I want this for the next few days. There is a big event happening right now, which is the raffle. We'll be taking advantage of this throughout the week. In terms of the rewards, though, a lot of them are going to be pretty useful for us, especially if we can sell them. Except if we don't get any of the big possible rewards here, we'll end up getting cake slices, which we actually can't give in. This is because I can't trade them between, different players, because those rewards include skill XP of various different types, and I don't want to ruin, the mining XP, for example, or anything else, of course. We're also going to head over to our island really quick. As you can see, we have a lot of minions that we can pick up. I already have my rabbit pet equipped, so we're going to be picking up pretty much all of these guys. As you can see, we get a lot of XP. There's a farming level already. We're now at farming 34, and we'll be able to sell all this stuff for a lot of money, as you can see. Okay, this will be a useful thing to make. We have the large enchanted agronomy sack that we have just picked up, and now I can store a lot of the other stuff that I would have had a ton of trouble storing. So there we go. As you can see, now we have a lot of stuff we could theoretically sell. 26 million if we were to sell all of our sacks right now. We're not going to do that. We have to get to farming. And after a little bit of management, here is what we have for our greenhouse at the moment. I will have to buy up some more greenhouses in the near future. And also, I need to unlock garden level 12 in order to add in the wild roses in this section. But this should unlock me quite a few more mutations. And once those are unlocked, I get a lot more copper. This should be a great path of progression for me. If you're enjoying Skyblock Skill Locked, make sure to like and subscribe. Use code RAIL on the Hypixel store for 5% off your order, and make sure you stay tuned until the end as I will be spinning the wheel for the next cycle. Now let's get back to Skyblock Skill Locked. So since the release of the last major update for farming, which was the Harvest Feast, a few things have changed. Notably, squash and pretty much every other rare crop now drop through Overbloom. That is relatively new. Overbloom is basically like a magic find, but for rare crops specifically. You get it through multiple different sources. I don't think I'm going to have easy access to pretty much any of those sources, but we are getting quite a few squash pretty quickly, which is extremely nice. It's going to make it easy to get the squash armor. I get that accessed at farming 35, which we are extremely close to. At that point, I'm probably just going to full upgrade to squash pretty much immediately. I don't want to farm melons or pumpkins. They're really awkward. Cocoa beans, same thing, really awkward. I want to go back to Netherwart or something else entirely. Please get me out of here in terms of farming melon and pumpkin for now. I don't know if I brought this up yet, but during the raffle, there is a ton of buffs currently active. Notably, 50% skill XP, which is probably the most important thing for myself, as well as stuff like Dungeons XP, Class XP, Slayer XP bonuses. I can't really use any of those, as well as Magic Find and Tracking. Regardless, I'm still really happy with the fact that I'm going to get a ton of skill XP out of this. I'm hoping at the very least I can get to farming 50 during this week. And there we go, actually. We get farming 35 off of a pest. I didn't really expect for that to happen at all, I'm going to be honest here. We'll likely be swapping over to squash in the near future. As you can see, I cannot keep up in these contests at all. I only have 607 farming fortune. If I were to put on my peony gear instead of my pest hunter equipment, still only 621, not even close to enough. The goal at this point is going to be leveling up farming as fast as possible, which is why I have my rabbit on, and getting access to the best gear possible. I think another goal I'm going to set, hopefully by the end of this week, we can have full fermento. That would be incredible. So we need to pick up 73 more squash in order to make the full squash set of gear. There's also some other stuff I'll need to buy, like enchanted cookies. But for now, we can make the boots. We can also make the leggings. There we go. We also get a carpentry level out of that. The helmet will need melon and polished pumpkins for, and the chest plate will need a lot of stuff for, so let's pick those up. Okay, we have bought everything we needed. We can now do recipe squash. We can grab the helmet. There we go. As well as the chest piece. There we go. So now we have full squash gear on. That gives us some bonus pest chance, as well as additional farming fortune. And now we have to farm sugarcane, cacti, mushrooms, and netherworts in order to get a fermento. So now we're able to come over here and farm up netherwort, which is just going to be so much better than melons, I've got to say. The actual ability for us to just farm here consistently without having to go back and forth is going to be extremely nice. This is why I wanted to rush to squash gear pretty much immediately. Something else we can do is we can pick up this, the overpriced drink. This is as part of the Harvest Feast update. But what's notable about this is that it doesn't have a mining level that you need in order to apply it to a farming tool. As you can see, there is no such requirement. So if we can get one of these, that'll be 7 overbloom and 25 farming fortune for our netherwort hoe. We're also working on upgrading this. We're going to need a total of 60 mutant netherwort. I'll probably trade in some of my other current farming items that I just have stockpiled into mutant netherwort in order to pick this up, because it's going to give us a lot more farming fortune. And once again, we are going to be here farming a lot of netherwort for a very, very long time. Since we are going to be farming netherwort for a while, let's pick up a cultivating book, and actually let's pick up a second one. I think in the near future we're going to apply one to another one of our farming tools. There we go, we have applied it, and now on our new netherwort hoe, we have cultivating. In the near future though, hopefully we pick up this overpriced drink. I really want it. If we need to insta-buy it, we will, of course. It will just be a significantly higher amount of money spent, but it is so useful to have that overbloom. I need it. Things have definitely been progressing pretty well so far. I've gotten back into the swing of things. I'm using my squeaky mouse mat as well as my sprayinator, and we're getting a ton of pests done, making some money off of this. I want to say from these pests, I should get the next level, and there we go. We get the next farming level. That's farming 36, which is really, really nice. Puts us up to total of 144 farming fortune. We get 500k coins, and we also get an earthworm bestiary. Let's keep on going. Also, I have given up. I bought the remaining mutant netherwort I need, and here we go. We're going to make the upgraded mutant netherwort hoe. There it is in all of its glory. It's already level 19. We get a lot more farming fortune out of that. If I'm going to be here for a while, I may as well have a good farming tool. And as you can see, that brings us up to 901 farming fortune right now, although obviously the hoe can grow quite a bit in power. Honestly, we got a pretty good drop from our librarian. There's a Delicate 5 book. We can pick that up for 3 enchanted sugarcane. And that is now done, and that would sell for about 2 million coins if we were to sell it. So we bought up a few praying mantis shards, and now since I have upgraded my Infinivacuum with the bit of copper that I had, I can now one-shot pests. It was definitely a long time coming, but it will make actually interacting with pests just a whole lot easier. And we get another fairy soul off of Tia over here. Alright, I'm gonna cave here. I am going to spend the 7 million coins on the overpriced drink. I do need to apply that to my netherwort hoe. And here we go. It'll be 80k coins. And as you can see, now I get a bit more farming fortune as well as a bit of overbloom. We're also going to drop about 1 million coins on a green bandana. We're going to put this on our rabbit pet for now, but eventually we're going to probably swap it over to whatever other pet we end up using later on in the week. And there we go. That gives us a total of 44 farming fortune on our rabbit for now. Obviously, it will be a bit more once we get max garden. Still very nice. We're coming up on another Netherwart crop milestone. This will be Netherwart 23. There we go. There's 230 garden XP as well as 50k more farming XP. 83% of the way through the next level. Let's keep on moving. Here's another mayor visiting as a visitor, and we get a hypercharged chip off of that. Very nice. Actually, it looks like we got another farming level off of Mayor Foxy earlier. That puts us at farming 37, and now we're moving on to farming 38. Hopefully we can hit level 40 by the end of the evening. So we picked up our first turtellini earlier. This is from our greenhouse, and it's going to cost 240k in order to analyze. And we're going to do that really quickly. Just got to go through the little mini game. There we go. We get 750 copper as well as 121 extra copper. We're going to get a lot more of these unlocked in the very near future. We're going to try to get all the way to analysis milestone number 4 or maybe even number 5, hopefully by the end of this Skyblock year. We're also going to put in an order for a bunch of Solage chips. If we could pick these up, it would be really nice. They give us some bonus farming wisdom. If we had more of it, means we level up the skill just a little bit faster. Also decided to pick up a bunch of Turbo Warts books, and I can put those on my Netherwart hoe to get quite a bit more Netherwart fortune out of that. It's only 50 levels to apply. Might as well do that. So we are about to hit another farming level. Should be with this pest. And there we go. That is farming 38 and another Skyblock level as well. And we're coming up on another Netherwart milestone. This will be Netherwart 24, and we're getting fairly close to it. I've got to say, Netherwart has been a pretty nice crop of choice so far. I haven't sold much of it yet, but the experience actually grinding it out isn't really bad at all. I already have, stuff set up for it. Already, another 12 million coins worth of Netherwart, which is amazing. We'll turn all of that into even more mutant Netherwart. Yeah, 12 million coins, 12 fermento for 2.9 mil there. We're going to save all of that up, of course. We want to get our hands on as much fermento as possible, as soon as possible. But the grind's been going pretty well. So we got another contest done. This is a Netherwart contest, still obviously not at the point where we're unlocking golds. But at the very least, we're making some amount of progress. We got about 600k collected. I would need to get 1 million. I think I'm just going to need a second greenhouse for this. I'm going to be honest. But hey, at least we're collecting a lot of silver medals, and we're also getting a bunch of other rewards that we could sell. So things are looking up for us. And after a lot more farming, if I'm not mistaken, this should be the level. And there we go. There's farming 39. We have been farming for a while. If we look at our playtime, we already have 31 hours in the garden. I think we started with like 26. We'll definitely be farming a whole lot more this evening and going into tomorrow. So now we are on day 2 of Skill Locked Farming Week number 2, and there's a few things we have to pick up and look at in our greenhouse. As you can see, there's quite a few things that have grown or changed over the last little while. Notably, I wanted to pick up this turtellini right there. That's the first thing. And also, there is a bunch of cocoa that I've just been growing on the side. Want to pick all of that up as well. Everything else is pretty close to being done. If I look at, like, for example, this Blastberry right here, it's at 5 out of 6. With this Dusk Bloom, it's at 7 out of 8. And for the Cinder Shade, it's at 4 of 8. We are 60% of the way through our next farming level. And actually, we're going to be a little bit more when we get that. Yeah, there we go. 60.7. Also going to spend a little bit of time here speaking to a lot of different NPCs. This is because I want to unlock many of them in my visitor logbook so they can actually show up. This will get me a lot more visitors. I do need to get this done. And that should be every visitor in the hub that I was missing, unless I'm missing a few more, in which case that's totally on me. I also decided to pick up a few new mutations, including some coal root as well as a blastberry, and after turning them all in, I got another DNA analysis milestone, as well as a ton of copper. And with all of this newfound copper, we are going to pick up the next upgrade, and the final upgrade, in fact, for our vacuum. So boom, there we go. Now we have a buzzing Infinivacuum Huvarius, and we also have stereo harmony now. So I believe, yeah, I can put in all of the different types of pest vinyls that I get, and then I can basically increase the chance at which I get certain pests to spawn, which will be extremely nice for me, I've got to say. And there we go. Now we have every single one of these put into our stereo, except for Pray For Me, which we don't have at the moment. So we're about to wrap up another Nether Wart contest. We did not get close to gold once again. Maybe we look on the auction house even for some upgrades here, mainly because I would be able to get stuff that already has gemstones on it. Perhaps even a mossy piece of gear would be incredible for me by this point, but we do have some money to spend. We have about 29 mil, which isn't all we have. Of course, we have, another 29 mil in Nether Wart that we could sell if we wanted to. That should be enough for at least a couple pieces, although obviously we need more than that. We are just struggling in terms of farming fortune. A big thing we will be grabbing here is the personal bests upgrade. This is a big deal. Having access to personal bests means I get a whole lot more farming fortune from various different crops based on my performance in the Jacob's contest. And for another wart, that's already 22 fortune. Oh, and we're also up to about 3 condensed fermento. We have been grinding out a lot, as you can see. And we're going to try to go for at least a few more before we fully make the jump and swap over to full fermento armor. But once again, the progress is really nice. A pretty big upgrade we can get right now. We can spend 500k coins on hypercharge chips. I should have done this earlier, but that increases the bonus of temporary farming fortune buffs by quite a lot. And now, as you can see, we get a total of 270 farming fortune when we turn in the Pest Hunter buff. That is a whole lot more than we were getting before. I think we were getting 248 prior. That is a lot of farming fortune. So after a lot more farming, we are about to hit the next level, which will be, I think, farming 41. Very nice. We have gotten a lot of progress on. I think we started at like farming 33 or 34, but yeah, there we go. We also got a taming level out of that and a mushroom garden milestone, so a whole lot all in one. Up to 164 farming fortune there, as well as 49% bonus pet XP from the taming level. Very cool. I'm going to open up the daily raffle for today. Let's see if we get anything. This is our best overall chance of getting something, but I don't have very high hopes. And I got a dungeon chest key, so that's something, but I won't be able to use that at least during this week. I guess I'll just put it up in my ender chest for now. Picked up a few more mutations that we're able to turn in here. That was Cheese Bite, and I also got a Cinder Shade earlier. And we're up to 18 out of 20 total analysis done. So once we get those last two, we should be able to get that next tier. And now we go back to farming. And there's a big drop. We got a legendary slug pet here. Awesome. So that'll be 5 million coins if I sell that. And I don't know if I am going to sell that, but it might be worthwhile to do so, especially considering I don't really have a purpose for it at the moment, and I'm going for Fermento gear. Still very amazing. Okay, so I have spent pretty much every last dime that I had on this, but I'm going to try to upgrade into Fermento now. Now we start with the Fermento helmet. There we go. It is made. We then go for the chest plate. That is now made. The leggings. And the boots. There we go. So now we have full Fermento, which is great. Not only does it improve the reforges already on the gear, but now we have an increased tiered bonus feast. Farming wild roses, sunflowers, and moonflowers have a small percentage chance of dropping a Helianthus. Also combines the tiered bonuses of wearing 4 pieces of the melon armor, crappie armor, and squash. Grants 75 farming fortune. Very nice. Okay, so off of this visitor, there we go. We get another farming level. That's now farming 42. Pretty solid progress today, as well as another 800k coins, which I so desperately need. And we have now crossed the 100 million profit barrier from pests killed. Now, obviously, this is terrible for the rates. I've killed almost 2,000 of these things. I should have way more than 100 mil, but it's something at the very least. Everybody has to start somewhere. I've been farming for a while, and I decided to pick up a hedgehog pet from Philip. I traded in a lot of my pests for it. I needed 500 in order to pick it up, But that is going to be another pet unlocked. As you can see, it also gives me some farming fortune and overbloom on pests, which should give me a little bit of a better shot of getting some of the rare drops from those pests. I've also bought up a bunch of Solage chips. That gets me the upgrade. Now I have a total of 12 farming wisdom, which should be a little bit more farming wisdom, meaning I can level up just a bit faster. Oh yeah, a little bit earlier we got farming 43, and we're going to try to get farming 44 by the end of the night, but I'm not certain I'm going to be able to do it. I'm going to be real. I've been farming for a very, very long time. We're already up to 41 hours of playtime on the garden, which, like, doesn't sound like a lot, but I have been grinding out a ton. So we are now on day 3 of Skill Locked Farming Week number 2, and if we head over to Feast Chef Ted, we can see a few things that are notable. First, we have Netherwort in the Harvest Feast rotation, so we'll be able to try to get a lot of this done over the next 9 hours. But also we see Moonflower here, and this is really useful because Moonflowers are expensive, or at the very least, their drop, the Crystallized Moonlight, is expensive. I looked it up earlier, it was around 600k. I can't look at the bazaar right now, but 600k for every single one, and you can get them off of pests, is amazing. So we're going to head over to the garden now, and we're going to try to get as much of this done as possible over the next few hours. See, and there we go, we've already got one, a Crystallized Moonlight. If I were to sell this, I could sell it for as much as 650,000 coins each, which is so much money, I've got to say. I hope over the next few hours we'll be able to make a lot off of these things. Also, in our greenhouse, we now have a do not eat shroom here, so let me set this over to be my fungi cutter. And boom, there we go. We get 22k farming XP from that, which is quite a lot. So we turned in the do not eat shroom. We got 750 copper for that. For the first time bonus, we're at 19 out of 20 on the DNA analysis milestones. I want to get this done by the end of the week, so we are going to work on that. We're going to have to change around our greenhouse a bit, but it shouldn't be that bad. So you guys are probably going to think I'm literally insane, but I want to make the note that for as long as I've been farming, I pretty much have had nothing on my second monitor, like, this whole time. I'm probably going to put something on my second monitor, but, like, sometimes I'll be, farming, I'm holding down my keys with my one hand, and then I have my phone in my other hand, I'm just scrolling on, like, Twitter or whatever else. But I probably should put something on the second monitor. I've realized this just seems like punishment for the last, 20 hours or however long I've been doing it at this point. I don't know, it's just been very much go back and forth, hold down A or D depending on which lane I'm in, and pick up all the pests whenever I see them, and then get back to farming. We've made a lot of progress at the very least, we're a lot of the way through farming 43 now, and we're hoping to get to farming 45 or 46 by the end of today, and we probably will end up hitting farming 50 by the end of the week, but man oh man has it been a long process. And now we're about to hit the next Netherwort crop milestone. This will put us at Netherwort 29, which is quite a bit of the way through this milestone. There it is, another 290 garden XP as well. We also get some level ups for our pets. Very nice. We're at 99.6% of the way through this garden level. I want to hit that next one relatively soon. Main reason why is that one unlocks wild roses. It also unlocks a new pest type, meaning I can get the bestiary for that pest. I can make my hedgehog just a little bit better as well. And there we go. We actually got the garden level up off of a Moonflower collection upgrade. Now we have access to the Praying Mantis pest, which is great, as well as 10 Skyblock XP, 10 crop growth, and higher tier crop upgrades, and also 9 bonus visitors, which is amazing, I've got to say. We got our first Praying Mantis kill, and look how many Wild Rose milestones we got. That is a ton of Garden XP pretty much instantly just off of one of those. I've also decided to pick up Green Thumb 1 to put on my Pest Vest. If I'm going to be using it pretty much all the time for now, I might as well start upgrading it, especially since I have so much copper still left over. I don't even know what I would buy with all of the other copper. There is a lot of rewards all at once. I didn't even realize I would hit the next level. We got a Moonflower milestone. We got 6 compacted Moonflower, as well as Crystallized Moonlight. We got another Wild Rose milestone, and on top of that, we got Farming 44. That is absurd. There's a pretty nice drop. We got Marco here. We can give him 206 Enchanted Sunflowers, and we get a green bandana out of that. That'll be a lot of farming fortune for each of our garden levels. So now we can apply that to our hedgehog for 50k coins, and that gives our hedgehog 48 farming fortune for now. And there we go. There's another Netherwart milestone. That's number 30. We get 300 garden XP from that, another 50k farming XP. We get a hedgehog level, and we also get some seasoning. That's pretty nice. Also, we have hit level 30 on our Netherwart hoe. We will have to upgrade it very, very shortly. I only need Jacob's tickets in order to do that, so that'll be fairly cheap, and I will do that very soon. As you can see so far, we have 15 crystallized moonlight in our inventory. We're going to sell all of those for about 6 million coins. That should be more than enough to pick up the Jacob's tickets that I need in order to upgrade my hoe. And we're also going to head over to George because I got another slug pet, and I want to sell that for 500k. Also, if we head over to the raffle, I do want to open up our daily raffle. Let's see if we get anything from this. I don't think I'm going to get very lucky, but we shall see. And yeah, we got nothing from that. Very, very unlucky. We're just not able to take advantage of this fully because of the lack of tasks that we're able to do. It would be really nice if we were able to do more here, but hey, listen, at the very least, we got a fruit bowl. Ironically enough, this isn't actually that bad, given that it gives us farming wisdom if we fully complete it, so we'll probably work on the fruit bowl. Alright, that was relatively quick. I just ran around the hub, and there was a ton of people currently running around as part of the event, so I was able to get all of the profile names done. I consume that. I get 1 farming wisdom and 250k coins. And as you can see, all of our crystallized moonlight has sold, and now we have 8 million coins in the bank. We also pick up another feast tier. That is very cool. And now we can grab the Jacob's tickets we need and upgrade our hoe. This should be more than enough, and yeah, as you can see, we're able to craft this now. Boom. There we go. We get a carpentry level out of that. And as you can see, now we have 100 farming fortune on this, 5 overbloom as well from overpriced, which is great. 175 netherwart fortune, 11 farming wisdom. Another pretty nice pickup. I wanted to grab crop fever to put on my hoe, and now we have crop fever 2. Obviously not the highest tier of it, but it's a start at the very least. This will give us some access to some more overbloom, as well as a bit more farming fortune every once in a while. It doesn't mean we're going to be getting crop fever super often, but it's something, and will make the process of farming just a little bit more enjoyable. Turned in quite a few visitors and got a taming level off of that. And there's another technically almost max skill. There's taming. I have to turn in a bunch of pets if I want to get it above level 50, which I will be doing over the next little while. But if I wanted to get it all the way to level 60, I think it's extremely expensive. Okay, so a contest is currently active, and we're very close to hitting our next Netherwart milestone. This will be Netherwart number 31. I'm going to do my best to try to get a decent overall placement in this contest. The thing that benefits me here is that since this crop is in season, theoretically there are more people participating in actually trying to get this crop, meaning the bracket should be a little bit more diluted, or at least that's my hope, and therefore I might have a shot of getting in the gold. I'm not certain though. Well, I tried my best, for sure, during this Netherwart contest, and we got a lot more than we did last time we did this. You know, we're at nearly 850k total crops broken, which was pretty solid. I've got to say, we got the silver contest completion. We got 850k. I think it's still around 1 million for the gold, and we beat our old personal best by almost 200k, which is great, but it's just going to take a little bit more, man. I don't know what we're going to have to do. I think we're just going to have to rely on the greenhouse in future weeks. And just a little while ago, I got farming 45. There's 1 million coins and 180 farming fortune. Botroot has been genuinely insane for a little while right now, going for close to 600,000 coins through sell offers, so I'm going to swap over my vacuum to be focusing on beetles. This will give me a lot more Botroot overall, which should lead to a bit more profit. We're at 99.7% of the way through this crop milestone, and here we go. There is Netherwart 32, another 300 garden XP, 50k farming XP, and 1 more Skyblock XP. And if I go over to the bazaar and I actually were to insta-sell everything, I'm not going to do this, but if I were going to, as you can see, I would make 115 million coins off of that. And we still have another 3 hours on this stage of the Harvest Feast, so we have a lot more money to make, but we are doing pretty amazingly, I've got to say. over our milestone. Our main goal was to get over 100 million coins. That seems like it's going to happen. We already have the full Fermento, and I don't think we're going to get Helianthus this cycle. I don't think it would be a worthwhile investment to do so. I think I'm also going to spend some time, maybe tomorrow, setting up some better plots. I know my plots have been terrible. You guys have probably been yelling at me to make a better one for a long while now. The reason I haven't is because I thought about it and I was like, I don't know if it's worthwhile for me to invest in a better farm before I actually get the upgrades in which I can take advantage of having a better farm. 15 blocks per second doesn't really matter that much if you only have 1,000 farming fortune or 700. Now that I'm closer to 1,300, moving on to eventually 14 and 15, I think then it's going to be a lot more worthwhile for me to swap over and get 20 BPS pretty much all the time. So after another very long farming session, we are up to farming 46, and if I open up the bazaar, you can see I could sell everything for about 150 million coins. Now, I'm not going to do that immediately. I am going to sell some stuff separately as time goes along, because there is a lot of things I need to upgrade. But also, we have Maeve here, and as you can see, I can give her 10 crappies for a Harvest Harbinger 5 potion, as well as 100k farming XP. I am absolutely interested in doing that. Let me grab the 10 crappies I need. There we go. And boom, there we go. As you can see, a lot of XP as well as the potion here, 50 farming fortune. Don't know if I'm going to use this anytime in the immediate future, but very nice to see. We are now going to be moving on to doing a little bit of mushroom farming, and I have a hash brown here for my funky cutter, and we can get that to be deep fried. That'll give me a bit more farming fortune. I also need to upgrade this with a few other things like dedication. Let me grab that as well. Okay, I have run into a problem, and currently it is mushroom being in season, and that's the crop I want to go for. I don't really have time to build a full proper melon farm, and a cocoa beans farm is equally as annoying to make, and I just don't want to grind out cocoa that way. I have a lot of money, but this farm sucks. The base farm for mushrooms is just not very good at all. So I've decided I need to pull the trigger on it. I'm going to make my own farm. Currently, right now, I'm a little bit ways into just cutting out all of this area in order to actually make the farm. I'm going to be relying on a YouTube video guide. I'll have that on screen, and I'll say the name in a minute. But right now, I'm just using this block zapper I picked up for some bits in order to remove everything currently in this plot. Okay, stage 1 is now complete. We have an empty plot, and I believe what we can do with this is that now we can go and look at the plot, and it is plot number 8, and we can find it right here, the super flat. We can save the preset as bedrock, for example. We can also set that to be bedrock, and there we go. And I can test this by making the plot next door to it, which is this potato plot, which I'm frankly not going to use anytime soon. I can just make sure that it's totally emptied out, which it looks like it is based on how everything else around it is reacting. And I can get to work actually making this plot, plot number 8, a mushroom farm. And here it is. Here is the mushroom farm. I've got to give credit where it's due to I don't know Venom and Deadly Panda. You guys made an amazing tutorial. It was really easy to follow, and I'll have it linked down below. So if you guys want to make this plot, you will be able to as well. I really like it. It was very simple to put together. It wasn't too bad. I also did some nonsense on this side. As you can see, I put together a bunch of sunflowers. Hopefully the bitrate isn't absolutely destroyed. That will be for future use. I'm not really worried about that right now. Also, that is not, I don't know, Venom's and Deadly Panda's design. That is me doing nonsense over there. So don't look at it. Don't focus on it for now. That will be relevant later. Also, my purse is a lot higher. That's because I sold pretty much all of the Mutant Nether Wart I had to NPC. It was just more money for me to do that. So I might as well. And as you can see, we have 70 bot root here we could theoretically sell for 23 million coins. Now, I'm going to sell that, but I'm not going to do it through a buy order. I'm going to do it through a sell order. That'll be a lot more money. If I grab all of it, there we go. We can go to the bazaar. We can click on this, sell that. That'll be 34 million coins extra coming into our wallet. And then we also have a bunch of crystallized moonlight. Now, I'm not going to sell that all immediately. I want to sell about maybe 20 of them for now. I want to keep a few just because I can use it to make some moon dew that'll allow me to get the lunar moth pest. And I'm trying to think about other stuff that I can sell at the moment. Maybe my fermento. Let me just grab some of that. I'll grab 30 of those for now. Grab this and then throw that up in a sell offer. And that should be a lot of money coming in over the next few hours. Something we can do now that I've wanted to for a little while is actually set it today, and that's because we're going to pick up a few new things. Now, first, if I go into farming, you can see that if I grab solar power attribute, this is the Firefly attribute, this will allow me to get up to 50 farming fortune during the day. I need 31 more of these. They are relatively expensive, but I do want to try to get this maxed out, so I'm going to put in a buy order for 31 of these. That will be 12 million coins, but it's well worth it for 50 farming fortune. That is definitely a lot, I've got to say. There's also something else I wanted to pick up here, and that is the crop beetle shard. I'll need 47 more of these, and these are also extremely expensive, so I'm kind of 50-50 on whether I want to max this out right now. And same thing with infiltration here. I'll probably grab a few shards each, but not enough to max both of these. For now, I want to focus on the farming fortune and maybe pick up a dragonfly or two for the farming wisdom. Now, Feast Fungus is worth absolutely nothing, so you might be asking yourself, why in the hell am I focusing on mushrooms so heavily? Well, they give a very large amount of XP, and I can set my vacuum here to be focused on moths, so I get designer coffee beans, which is really what I'm going for. Designer coffee beans are worth a lot more, as you can see, about 500k each. And there we go. We got 34 mil worth of bot roots sold. That is awesome. Something else I'm going to do now is I'm going to put up this vacuum on the auction house because I just don't need it anymore. I need one that is beady. I can't craft one that is beady because it is a reforged that I don't have access to. And it's just so much better for me to have access to one of these that's properly set up. As you can see, for a good price here, I can get this one. I would say it's solid. It's 14 million coins. It's already set up properly, and it has a bonus of 100 farming fortune on pests. So I'm going to grab that one right there, and I'm going to look at the regular Infinivacuum Huvarius and see the cheapest price. It goes for about 7.5 mil. I feel like mine is worth currently about that much. We'll put it up for 7.65 mil. I think that'll sell given that it already has stuff on it. And boom, there we go. So we do lose a little bit of money instantaneously, but I promise you in the long run, 100 farming fortune is going to be so much better. Now, because of that, I'm going to need to get insect power just a little bit stronger, as you can see. This improves the ability for my vacuums to deal damage. So I'm going to pick up maybe like another 31 of these so I could be about halfway through this. We need enchanted brown mushroom blocks in order to upgrade to the second mark of fungi cutter, but thankfully that's exactly what I've been doing, is getting brown mushroom blocks. So boom, there we go, upgraded fungi cutter. It's very nice to see this. That is awesome. That should allow us to get a lot more farming fortune and mushroom fortune over the next little while. We are dropping so many designer coffee beans. It's just a couple hours in. I mean, I have a lot of time left to keep on farming. We're already up to 6.3 mil in profit. And also, I see Mayor Diana, the best mayor around. It'll take 4 compacted wild roses, but we get 323 copper. That might, in fact, be worth it. Let me just grab those real quick. It's about 416k. Grab that. Very, very nice. And these pests that I just spawned should be more than enough to get me to farming 47. I've really, I don't know. I think that the progress this week has been really solid. I feel like I'm doing a good job given the circumstances. Oh yeah, something else I can pick up. I can grab 3 wriggling larvae. I've already consumed 2 of these, and you can consume up to 5. They give you some bonus pest chance, so there we go. We have gotten all of those now consumed, and we're up to 235 bonus pest chance without even using a sprayinator. With the sprayinator, that'd be 285. And it looks like someone actually bought our Infinivacuum. There we go. Then we have 27 million coins. And that's a pretty big deal. We got all of our Firefly shards, so now we can consume them all. And there we go. Solar Panel 10. Gain 50 farming fortune during the day. That's going to be a huge deal. Combine that with our Pest Hunter buff. We're up to 1382 farming fortune with this pet setup, which isn't even the best that I could possibly get. So that is absolutely crazy. If we hop in here, the farm is going to be great. So we just got our last couple seasonings and we head over to Feast Chef Ted, and boom, Our milestones are done. We get 3 total feast flasks as well as a commemorative mason jar. I don't even know what to do with this thing. It's very cute, I've got to say. Maybe I like ditto blob it or something, but for now that's going to go into our ender chest. I've also decided to quickly pick up a few crop beetle shards. I decided against just keeping the sell order, or rather the buy order up. It was taking too long. I just need some more overbloom. There we go. There's 5 for about 12 million coins. We're also going to sell about 12 million coins worth of brown mushroom blocks to NPC. Reason why I'm doing this is because it is better to do this than actually put it on the bazaar. I looked it up. The bazaar buy price when you're accounting for taxes would be lower. So we're going to sell it like that. And another thing we're going to do pretty soon, and actually by pretty soon I mean right now, we're actually going to buy up a better helmet. I've been looking around and I found this Mossy Fermento helmet. Has Terminator 5, already has gemstones on it, 29.5 mil. This is amazing. There we go. We're going to pick that up now. And this is what we'll use to eventually upgrade into Helianthus. That is better than our Bustling by over 20 farming fortune. Just look at the difference there. That is crazy. So we're going to put that on, and we're going to sell this Bustling helmet for a little bit less. Right now, if you look up Fermento, the cheapest one is about 26 mil. We're going to go a little bit under that. We're going to go 25.5 mil. Make back some amount of money. I think on that note, we are going to call it a night. It's been very successful so far. And as you can see, we're above 1,400 farming fortune now when we're holding our fungi cutter. That is crazy. And it's not even remotely maxed. There is so much more we can do over the next day or two. We're going to keep on grinding tomorrow. We're going to come back. I think the goal for tomorrow is in the morning, I'm going to try to buy up another greenhouse, set that up, maybe get a gold contest or 2 done, and make sure I'm just prepared for hitting some other milestones and leveling up a little bit more. Welcome once again to another day of Skill Locked. Currently, we're removing pretty much everything in this plot because I need to build a wild rose plot. It shouldn't take me very long. This should be a relatively quick thing to put together. And I also have to check out my greenhouse. I think there's something new there. I want to say I have a flesh trap there. And it turns out, I guess I didn't realize that flesh traps have a really long growth cycle. There are 14 stages in total, so that is not ready yet, but I was able to pick up a few other things that I could just sell for some decent cash. Also, it looks like all of our designer coffee beans have sold. That is very nice. There's another 12 million coins for us. We're up to 58 mil right now in the purse. I have no idea what I'm going to do with all that. I'm going to be real. And here it is. This is what I've got in terms of my plots. They're not perfect, of course. You know, I could have done a little bit better, probably, but I think for my purposes, this will do just fine. I'm going to start focusing on wild roses in a minute. I just need to actually enchant my wild rose hoe because, as you can see, I have basically nothing on this thing. So we're going to upgrade that, and then we'll be right back. And here we go. This is what it looks like now that it's complete, and it's working like a charm. We're able to level up our wild roses. We're able to get a lot more crop milestones done, which should get me to my next garden level. Pretty happy with this. And here we go. There is Wild Rose 22 about to be hit. And we're at 99.4 on that garden level, so we are very close, but we're not there just yet. All right, this might be it. Yeah, there we go. Garden level 13. So that is another 2 visitors, more crop upgrades, more Skyblock XP, and more crop growth. We're also going to buy up around 10 compost bundles. The reason why is we want to get another greenhouse before the end of this week. It's going to be extremely useful in future weeks. So we picked up all of the compost bundles. We're going to grab 100 ethereal vines, which is only a couple million coins nowadays. And boom, there we go. Plot limit increased for the greenhouse. We now have a second one we have access to. I'm going to need to buy up a couple more compost bundles so I could own this plot right here. That's where we're going to put greenhouse number 2. And there we go. We now own this plot. We are converting it to a greenhouse. We also get some farming fortune out of that, which is very nice. So I'll leave this to be pasted. Well, we are here just a few seconds away from the end of the Harvest Feast, and I've got to say, extremely productive time. I think that I really did a half-decent job, especially towards the end of that in terms of getting a good amount of money. All things considered, if we look at our bazaar, we can see we're up to 115 mil if we were to sell our sacks right now. Although obviously we're not going to do that. There is a bunch of other stuff that we need to get and do over the next little while, and I have to set up my greenhouse. That'll be the next major thing I do. But in terms of everything that we've done, I think we did pretty solidly. And as you can see, most of the greenhouse is gone at this point because, well, everything's been down for a few days at this point. So I'm going to clean everything out here, and then after I do that, I'm going to set up new stuff, hopefully all focused on actually making sure we get golds in the contests that we want. Also, we're going to upgrade to an Aquamaster 10. We have the Hydrocan Ultra 3000. I just wanted an upgrade because this upgraded one is just a little bit better. We get more water out every second. And also, this is what we're going with for now. It's a very simple in terms of a greenhouse. This will just be focused on getting us wheat. I want to try this the next time there's a wheat contest, see how much we can get out of it. And if we can get gold, we'll swap it to whatever else we need. And for our other greenhouse, this one's going to be a little bit rougher because it's kind of split down the middle due to the flesh trap being here. But this is kind of what I've got. Just a bunch of ash wreath areas over here, and on the left side, I have a bunch of cocoa beans growing. This is not optimal at all. Don't use this in your greenhouse. This is just something I hastily threw together because I don't have a lot of time left in the week. I also wanted to keep looking for better fermento, and I found this. This is really solid. It's Sunset 1, Pesterminator 5. It's 35 million coins, and it's already mossy. We are going to be picking that up. That is a huge upgrade. I go from 51 total farming fortune up to 73. And now I can sell this back for a little bit less. I think it's around 30 million coins. We'll put these up for about 30 million flat. That'll be a 5 million coin loss. So that's not really that bad for 20 farming fortune at this point. Plus, it already has sunset on it. We also picked up some crop fever. We're going to put that on our fungi cutter. We're going to be using this for the rest of the time that we're going to be farming, so we might as well. And another level is incoming. This will be Farming 49. It really is crazy how much better farming mushrooms is than pretty much every other crop in this game. But yeah, as you can see, Farming 49, if you want to level up farming, farm mushrooms, use the little guide to make a mushroom farm that's solid. Okay, this is our best chance so far. We got a Mutant Netherwort 9 drop off of a pest. We have 38k to match gold. We're at 500k Netherwort already. And we are going very hard. I want to get a gold milestone or a gold contest complete as soon as possible, man. That would be absolutely crazy. This is really going to come down to the wire. We're in the top 10%-ish range, and we are bouncing in and out of gold. I really cannot believe that we're about to do it. Like, I was genuinely shocked at us being even close to hitting the milestone or the amount rather needed to get a gold. I'm just so happy that we got something done, man. This will be great. It's going to allow us to get that first level requirement so we can get to level 51 farming. I don't know how much further we're going to go this week, but man, oh man, is it feeling really good to get in that top 10% and get a gold. But it's not over until it's over. We have to actually see. It states you have placed gold bracket in the Netherwort contest. You got 1 million items. It's a personal best. And now if we head over, let's see. Yes, there it is. Gold is all we needed. Very, very nice. That gives us the ability to buy this farming level cap. We are going to do that. Amazing. Oh boy, that feels incredible. I also can't believe it took me this long. I'm picking up all the vermin vaporizer chips I need to upgrade that. And there we go. Now we get 30 bonus pest chance, and we're up to 243 base, which would be 293 if I had a sprayinator on. So you may be looking at the right side of my screen right now, and you might be wondering, how did you do that? And the answer is, I have no idea. I just started doing a sugarcane contest, and all of a sudden I was in gold, and then all of a sudden I was in platinum. I haven't gotten any crazy drops from pests or anything like that. Nothing is different about my farming fortune, or pretty much anything else. I'm using a tier 1 sugarcane hoe, but this is amazing. It's just one more crop that I don't have to worry about if I get this gold. I am just so happy with how this contest has gone, man. I did not expect it to be nearly as good as it was. 680,000 total sugarcane collected. Actually, a little more than that, 692k. Very, very nice. That's another equivalent to a gold completion. And wait for it. There we go. Platinum completion. 30 Jacob's tickets, Turbo Cane 1 book, a gold medal, a bronze medal, and some bits. Very nice. Now we can head over to Anita. And boom. Now our farming level cap is 52. Woohoo! I'm already seeing that sunflowers are going to be part of the next contest, so I'm going to spend a little while setting up my sunflower farm to actually be ready for that contest. All right, so here we go. Obviously, these aren't the most perfect lanes in the world. Also, I just realized this plot isn't really set up properly. I'll have to fix that. But aside from that, I think things look pretty solid, all things considered. And there we go. We're in the golds on this sunflower contest. That is awesome. We're going to try to keep it up, obviously. We can't let off the gas. Just such a solid contest, man. We're at 760,000 total sunflowers, and we're on a tier 1 farming hoe. Now, obviously, we're getting a lot of farming fortune from other things, like, for example, our pest hunter bonus, but man, oh man, does it feel good to have another gold down the drain. We only need 7 more now in order to fully max out our farming level. Once we get those 7, it's just mushrooms the whole way there. We're going to make a ton of money while we do it. Let's keep on moving. And here we go, we can claim that contest. We also get a Turbo Sunflower book out of that. And now we have all of the Jacob's tickets we would need in order to upgrade this to an Eclipse Hoe Mark II. We are going to do that. There we go, very nice. And we are just mere moments away from hitting farming level 50. I would normally get it off of pest, but I want to keep on farming here. I want to get it off of the mushrooms. There we go. Farming 50, the second level 50 skill that I have, if you don't count taming, because why would you count taming? But there we go, farming 50, and now you can see farming 51 and 52. We are able to unlock both of those, and hopefully pretty soon we'll get access to farming 53. We are about to wrap up our mushroom contest, and we are currently in the platinum bracket, which is absolutely crazy. I cannot believe that's another gold effectively done. So after another long session of farming, we are up to farming 51, but that's not all. If we head over to Jacob, as you can see from earlier, we got a platinum contest completion, 426k mushrooms. We're going to be able to claim that. That puts us up to a total of 4 unique golds, and we can upgrade our farming level cap again if we wanted to. We would need the Jacob's tickets. That's not really that bad, though. As you can see, we could sell everything we have right now for 192 million. We are going to get a little bit more in terms of brown mushroom blocks. I want to get at least another 15 mil worth tonight. We're going to be heading into the next week with a lot of money. Going to grab all the money out of my bank because I saw this. 35 million coins for a Pest Terminator 6 Mossy Fermento chestplate that's already recommed. I am absolutely going to be picking that up. We're going to be trading that out for our Bustling Fermento. As you can see, it's just so much better in terms of quality. 82 farming fortune compared to 51. And as you can see, we can put this back up for a little bit under 33 mil. I think I'm going to throw that up here for maybe 31 million coins or even 30 million. I don't care about making back the full value. I'm going to be honest. It's only a 6 million coin difference. Accidentally walked our way into another gold contest completion. Forget how bad this cactus clearing is. I'm not really focused on it at all right now because I'm really just getting the amount of cactus I need off of pests. I was just able to just slowly run around here. Every once in a while I would get pests. They would all be mites because I have a sprayinator set up with tasty cheese on this plot. I would kill the mites, and boom, there's a gold, and it's in 5% range. It's actually like 16k below plat right now, which is nuts. My buff ran out, and I'm not even really worried about it. I'm going to be honest with you. We're about to hit the platinum tier. That is ridiculous. And there we go. Not only are we about to end this contest with a platinum completion, there is 200 million coins worth of stuff in my sacks right now. That is completely ridiculous. I did not think we would be hitting numbers like that by the end of this week. I thought 100 million was a pretty decent amount of money to set as my main goal. I thought maybe we would end up with 150 by the end of the week, but I've got to say, a lot of the netherwork grinding, as well as the wild rose grinding especially, has been great for cash. Fungi isn't really the best in the world. Mushrooms are solid for XP, but they're not the most money. Still, though, I've done it enough to where it has turned into a lot of money. As you can see, I have 45 million coins worth of brown mushroom blocks. So not bad if you're going to be leveling up the skill. And now we're coming up on another gold contest completion. This one for Wild Roses. That'll put us, I think, at number 6, if I'm counting correctly, which is absolutely amazing and way ahead of where I thought I would be. It feels like all of a sudden we went from not being able to do basically anything when it comes down to actually getting contests completed to now being able to do pretty much whatever we want and getting a gold contest done. We can pick up that contest completion, and if we look at Anita, there we go. So we're actually at 6 completions. I didn't realize we were at 6. That is crazy. Tomorrow we're going to try to get a few more done. We were also able to sell our Fermento chest plate from earlier, our old one, for around 30 million coins, which was nice. And to wrap up the evening, as you can see, we're up to 218 million coins if we sold all of our sacks now. But I wouldn't be that shocked if we ended this round of skill locked well into the 52, 53, maybe even 54 farming range, and with 250 million coins combined with a ton of money in the purse as well as in the bank, we are set for next week. And here we are on the final day of Skill Locked, and there is something I have to pick up, and that is this guy right here. We have our cocoa beans here, and now that we have our flesh trap, we have to trade that in. Also on this side, as you can see, I have a lot of wheat. I don't know if this is going to turn into anything, really, in terms of another gold, but we can definitely try. And here we go. We now are going to trade in our flesh trap. We just have to do the little DNA minigame. And there we go. We get 750 copper out of that, which is awesome. And we can claim the rewards here. We get the bioanalysis ring upgrade. I think that goes automatically into my accessory bag. Yeah, there we go. And here we are. We are currently doing the pumpkin contest. And I've got to say, I walked into another completion pretty much out of nowhere. I'm going to be real. I just set up this really terrible plot, like 5 minutes remaining on the contest, because I was farming a bunch of mushrooms, and I kept on getting rat pests. And that got me pretty much over the line, which is ridiculous to say by itself, but there's another gold that we don't have to worry about any longer, which is just absolutely crazy. And there we go. Now, if we look at unique brackets reached, we have a total of 7 out of the 10 that we need, which is completely ridiculous. Something I will say about farming is that it definitely does make a lot of money. Although I do see, like, very often on YouTube, they'll talk about, oh, you can make 50 mil an hour farming. And I bet those are technically true at, like, the very upper level. But there is so much investment that goes into farming, both in form of your time to actually level up stuff like milestones, get your farming level up, etc. But also in the form of money, because you need to, invest in your actual gear itself. I think it's very interesting how farming scales. It feels very much like you make no money for the first maybe 20, 30 hours. And then by hour 40, 45, when you get things like a hedgehog pet, when you get a decent amount of farming fortune, not a lot, but a decent amount, all of a sudden it does feel fairly profitable. I am definitely interested to see if this continues going into a potential 3rd week, especially if I have a lot of money to spend on upgrades. How much money will I be able to make, and will I be able to make my money back? I don't know if the answer to that is going to be yes, but we shall see. And we got another mushroom milestone. We're up to mushroom 34. We're 52% of the way to max mushroom collection on the garden, which is absolutely nuts. We've made a lot of progress here. And also our level is still going up relatively quickly. And we're getting sawdust pretty fast as well. We have less than an hour left on our booster cookie, but we are making so much money from farming right now that I am just going to buy up another one. We're also going to make a lot of that money back from the bits as well, so there's really no reason not to. And we are now about to hit farming 52, which is a crazy level milestone. There we go. Maybe not the best financial decision in the world, but I'm going to spend a little bit of money on upgrading to another fungi cutter tier. This should give me a little bit better stats in terms of what I have here. And as you can see, that also got me Skyblock level 140 and another carpentry level. So hey, we made some of that money back. Also wanted to grab a Turbo Mushroom 5 book. I should have gotten that a long time ago, but hey, it's better than nothing. Well, we've opened up another daily raffle, and we get a rune book out of this, and I don't even have one. Actually, wait, I do have one. Huh. I guess I'm just gonna have to sell this one, but they're not even worth a lot. They're worth 10k coins. Well, that kind of sucks. I guess I'll just put it up for now. Okay, the cocoa contest is about to begin, so now we are going to pick up pretty much all of our cocoa beans here. Let's grab all of this as well, and we're up to a total of 181,000 cocoa beans. That's not that bad. We're going to farm up a bunch of cocoa beans here. This is going to be a super unoptimized farm. I haven't really set this up properly in the slightest. We're just going to break everything, like physically break everything. I'll have to replant it in a bit because I don't even have replenish on my tool. I will have to buy that and then replace everything. We're going to try our best here, though, and I think with all of the cocoa beans that we've already gotten, that should be enough. Okay, I cannot believe that that just happened. We got a diamond completion with a tier 1 cocoa chopper. Give it a second. There we go. Yeah, that is a diamond contest now done. And if we check out right here, we can see we have a total of 3, 6, 8 of 10 needed total unique brackets done. That is absurd, man. And here we are, we're now focusing on a wheat contest. We're currently in diamond as I picked up pretty much everything in my greenhouse, but we're going to see if this will last for the rest of the contest. There we go, just over 500,000 wheat collected. That's another gold for us. Very, very cool, I've got to say. There it is, there's a gold. Boom, and now if we look at Anita, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of 10 required unique brackets reached for gold. So I need to get carrot, potato, melon slice, or moonflower. So we're going to try to get one of those over the next few hours. And now we're about to hit the next farming level. This will be farming 53. And I'll have to buy up some more farming level upgrades from the shop if I want to continue leveling up. But there we go. As you can see, farming 53, very nice. We get 1,000,000 coins out of that, 212 farming fortune, 5 health, and 30 more Skyblock XP. Just spent a few million coins, and I'm going to pick up a couple more upgrades for my farming level cap, and now we can go up to farming 55, which I don't think I'm going to necessarily hit this Skyblock year, but we shall see. There's another major milestone, mushroom 40 out of 46. We're 76% of the way done with this mushroom collection. So here we are, we're doing a carrot contest, and as you can see, I've been a little bit busy. I've set up a bit of a plot. As you can see, it's very large, but the goal here is to get a gold. This will be my 10th gold, meaning I can get all the way up to a farming 60 unlock. Obviously, I still need to get all of the XP in order to get farming 60, but that is basically it. That means next time around, I imagine I won't be able to get farming 60 this time around, but the next time around when we get a farming week, we'll come back, we'll do a whole lot of mushroom grinding until farming 60, and at that point we could just grind for pure money, and it'll be a very easy, reasonable time. I'm very excited for it. We got a lot done this cycle, and this is just the capstone for it. A little under a minute to go on this contest, and I've got to say it feels really good to get another gold completion. It's just nice knowing that I'll be able to coast from this point on, and I'll try to get as much XP as I can over the next couple hours, but the year is about to end. As you can see, it's late winter currently, and I think the progress this year was really, really good. Obviously, not a very flashy year. I don't even think it's as flashy as the last time there was a farming week, but it was just making a lot of money, grinding out a lot, and getting a lot of progress done. And we're about 5 seconds away from the contest ending. And there it goes. Very, very nice. I'm also going to upgrade another Solage chip. There we go. Also, 1.2 million items collected. Let's claim this. We get 2 contests done. We look at Anita. As you can see, a total of 3, 6, 9, 10 unique golds gotten. That means I can max out the farming level cap. So now we are getting extremely, extremely close to 300 million coins worth of stuff in our sacks. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, there we go, 300 million in our sacks. We're not going to sell it. We're going to hold on to the vast majority of the stuff in here. But that is a major accomplishment. All right, I have been farming pretty much all day. It is late winter 21st, and I think I'm gonna do the wrap up for the year. And we made a lot of progress. We're about halfway through farming 53, which is crazy. We've done pretty good on our chips, so we earned about 39 million sawdust. We've been working on a rare finder, hypercharged solage, crop shot, and vermin vaporizer. All of these are pretty solid for me personally. Might not be the best for you. I think our farms are pretty solid as well. We have quite a few that we have custom set up. Obviously, not perfect. I could have done better, but for our purposes, I think it worked out fairly well. And as you can see, we have over 300 million coins in terms of our sacks. And we also have a few new things to go over, like our hedgehog, which we've been using for a while now, our rabbit pet, which we've also been using. And on top of that, for our armor, we have Mossy Fermento helmet, chest plate, and leggings with manted Fermento boots that I was never able to upgrade because no one was selling really good boots. We also are using full pest hunter equipment with Squeaky, and if you were to look at our farming fortune, here we go, 1100. Get 212 from Farmhand, 143 from Hunter's Insight, 95 from my Fungi Cutter, 82 from Bestiary, 82 from the Armor, and 73 here, and 48 and 68 from the Armor. Bunch of other stuff like Feast, which is an armor passive, the Hedgehog pet, etc. Really solid amount. That's not including the 350 I get from the Pest Hunter bonus. I have 33 over Bloom, as well as 250 bonus Pest Chance. And if we go over to our Wisdom stats, I have a 79% bonus to my skill XP for farming. That's not including, of course, the Rabbit Pet. If I had the Rabbit Pet out, it would be a little bit higher. It'd be 109. Pretty solid. Going through the last couple raffles that we were able to do now, I will say I wasn't able to get pretty much anything good from the raffle event. It didn't really cross my mind too much. We did actually get something there, though. There's a Titanic XP bottle. Aside from this, though, and a few other small drops, the raffle event for me was mostly built around using the skill XP as much as I could. Also, there's a cake soul, so I guess I got two half decent rewards at the end there. I don't know what I'm going to do with the cake soul. I'll probably sell it, but still very, very nice at the very least. In terms of our greenhouse, we're mostly going to leave it here to rot. I don't really know what I could put in here that would last long enough to be relevant for multiple cycles from now, so we're going to just leave it be. And aside from that, though, I think it's time for the moment a lot of you have been waiting for. Let's spin the wheel that decides our fate. So here we are at the wheel. We're going to roll once again for the next week of Skyblock Skill Locked. And here we go. Let's see what we get. And the answer is another fishing week. So I'll see you then. And that concludes this episode of Skyblock Skill Locked. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. Use code RAIL on the Hypixel store for 5% off your order. Leave all your thoughts about the episode down below, and I'll see you next time on Skyblock Skill Locked.